thing recording? Yeah? Yes? Okay. I first of all, hello. Second of all, I just want to say something that I thought was worth saying. And I would never normally post videos like this because this is simply, I think, something that's between God and myself. There are some things that haven't happened in quite some time that today I've come to the realization I am no longer a slave to. And I was just giving God so much credit and honor and glory due to the fact that today I am not a slave to these things. I may have been a slave in the past, but I'm not a slave to these things anymore. And I sit back and I recognize the fact that God has moved me from point A to point B and did not have to do so. And so I was listening to this atheist today. I can't think of his name. What is his name? The famous Canadian atheist. I can't think of his name right now. That's better. I can't think of his name right now. It's right on the tip of my tongue. There was a video that came out recently about this particular atheist. And a video that he had where he was talking about God, or essentially talking about the character of God, describing it in detail, and then he broke down crying, and there was a bit to do about it, saying, oh, God's finally breaking down so-and-so's heart. Praise God. Well, I just listened to this interview between a British female and said Canadian debater, famous debater, atheist, at least you can say agnostic debater. I was listening to her, and she's talking about a lot of things that they are debating about in this interview. It's not really a question and answer period, more so it's a debate. It's what it looks like she came there to do. Well, this guy is somebody you don't want to debate with. He speaks the facts on the ground, and he speaks the facts, period, whether they agree with him or don't agree with him. That's the cool thing about him. So she's talking about how she made a comment that we are where we're at today in America because of a tyrannical, patriarchal, I believe is the way you say that, patriarchal society. That was her whole premise, and she started talking about how basically, if I understood correctly, if I could articulate it back the way she said it, it was to the effect of, we are a society that has gotten to where we're at based on the fact that it's always been male dominant. Males, white males in particular, will never let females or anybody that's not a white male be in power. And that's how this country was founded. That's where we got our Constitution from. That's what the Constitution was founded on. That principle alone. Now, this Canadian looked her dead in her face and said, you're dead wrong. I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, and the way he said it was way better. He's like, you're dead wrong on your facts. You're just factually wrong. Uneducated in this certain field, and I'm going to call you out on it because you just said it on national television. The Constitution was never founded on a white tyrannical, patriarchal society. What it was founded on was the same thing that they were fighting over in Britain about, he says, which is where she's from. And why those people left that tyranny for the Americas, because they wanted what was founded on something specific. And that specific foundation that the Constitution was laid upon, yeah? And he said it. The whole time I'm like, dude, what is she talking about? It's Judeo-Christian beliefs. That's what our country was founded on. That's what our Constitution was founded on. This chick is factually wrong. Surely he's going to call her out on that. So he starts to tell her she's wrong. I'm like, please say Judeo-Christian. Please say Judeo-Christian. Please say Judeo-Christian. I know you're an atheist. I know you got these things going on. Everybody thinks of you this way. But if we're going to stick to the facts, what was it founded on? And all of a sudden he's like, Judeo-Christian beliefs is what this country was founded on. Judeo-Christian beliefs that all men are created equal. That's what it was. She said, when the Constitution says all men are created equal, it was speaking about all white men. When in actuality, it was quoting doctrines from the Bible that all people are image bearers of God, which he goes on to say, this atheist goes on to say this, that all people are made in the image of the Imago Dei, right? The image of God. We're all, no matter the tribe, tongue, or nation, are all image bearers of God. What we see today are tribal issues. They're not race issues, which is what the media wants to push, which is what society's trying to push. It has nothing to do with race, because if we're talking about race, we're all running the same race. It's the human race. Every single one of us can say that because of what God has already said, what God has already established, and that is that we're all made in his image. And she said that it was based on a tyrannical situation, that all white men are created equal, and that's what they meant when they wrote it down in the Constitution, that all men are created equal. They were specifically stating, and it was common knowledge, that it was all white men, not black men, not women. All men and only white men are created equal. This dude's like, well, that's not true. I mean, like, that's historically laughable that you would even say that, because it could be proven through historical documentation that what they were talking about was the same thing that the Judeo-Christian Foundation back in England was talking about, that people didn't like there. And that is simply that we're all image bearers of God, so we're all equal in the eyes of God. Therefore, I have no right to be racist, quote unquote, towards anybody, because we're all the same race. We're all image bearers of God. There's no reason for me to look at a black man and say, I don't like you because of the color of your skin. Why? Because the color of your skin is completely irrelevant to the realities of life. And the realities of life are, you're a human being that God made with a purpose, and he knew you while you were being formed in the womb. He knew you before you were formed in the womb. He knew you because you were predestined prior to the foundations of the earth being laid to be exactly who you are today. Now, whether we walk in that is something completely different. Who we are supposed to be today. If, whether we are thinking like the Bible teaches us to think, that we're all image bearers of God or not, that's completely dependent upon the situation of the person and wherever they're at with God. However, it was so refreshing to hear this atheist talk about the fact that this British lady was pushing a false narrative about America all the way back to the foundations of America. This false narrative was being pushed. He's like, whoa, what are you even talking about over here? It's Judeo-Christian beliefs that they were founded on, first and foremost. And secondly, those were to say that all men are created equal in the eyes of God, because we are all image bearers of him. And they were just laying it out on paper, saying, just so everybody's aware, nobody's better than the next. Nobody's less of a human being than the other. That's not what God says. We're saying we're going with God on this one. We're putting it down in writing. You got this lady from England over there going, well, I think this is exactly what happened. The guy's like, no, actually you're wrong. And the way you're approaching it's altogether rude. However, I won't even bring that up. I'll just simply point out that you're wrong based on evidence. I just want to share that because, man, as I'm listening to that, I start to pray and I thank God for who he is and where I'm at today in my mind as opposed to where I was yesterday, right? And as I'm praying, I'm driving down the same road to work that I drive down every day, and I see a sign, just as I'm like, God, I just want to spend time in your presence, around you, with you. I don't even move me out of the way. Move me out of the way. And as I'm praying this to God, after listening to this atheist, who I know is an atheist, who I've listened to debate from the atheist perspective, he's saying these awesome things, these truths about God, and all of a sudden, as I'm praying the prayer, and all these things are hitting me at once, and I feel the presence of God, I look up on the same road I drive down every day, and this sign has never been there. And it says, it's a blue sign with big white words. I've never seen it a day in my life. I wish I could have took a picture of it to prove it. However, I don't really care. I know what I saw. Secondly, the sign says, be still and know that I am God. I'm like, what you say? Get out of town. That just happened. That really just happened. I'm praying to God. I see a sign that's never been on the same street I've driven down for the last 6 months, every single day, day in and day out. The sign's never been there. Now it's on a billboard. You still know that I am God. Right at the same time that I'm praying to God, saying, God, I know that you're God. Help me to be still and just simply rest in the fact that you are who you say you are. And that I don't even have to worry based on that fact. And I see a sign saying, yo, be still and know that I am God. Like, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about a thing. Whoa. Or something like that. I mean, I don't know how the song goes. I can't sing, but you get the gist. That's what I'm trying to say. And I've been worrying and worrying and worrying and worrying and worrying and worrying. Be still and know that I am God. I even change atheists' hearts daily. The smartest of atheists even. Take that interview, for example. Anyways, man, God bless you guys, and I love each and everybody. I praise God for y'all and the plans He has for y'all's life. I pray for y'all's families. But ultimately, He gets the glory. Ultimately, He gets the glory. HGA is glory alone, right? Have a good day. God bless you guys.